The Opinion with Michael J. Yikes. This is our December 27th edition. And here's where we're at. Let's explain it very simply. We're just going to explain why we're going to end with this. Trump, you're fired. Simple as that. This is the whole purpose of this video. What started as Russian imperialism invading Ukraine, Russian oligarchy pervading Europe for probably since the just put in plan during the dissolution of the USSR. Seriously. Yeltsin was undermining Gorbachev. Gorbachev was satisfying the Western world's needs. And the people were starving. Simple as that. And now we have a situation where Donald J. Trump, you didn't learn the first time, so you had to bring him in for a second run. And now you're finding out that, man, this guy never had a policy, never had a plan. It was just concepts. And his concepts were whatever people brought to the table that made him look good. And one of them is going to be Project 2025. Simple as that, folks. Guy's never had a policy, doesn't know what a policy is. Never had a plan. Look at these accordion hands. Look at these accordion hands. We can do the swerve. How do you do the friggin' swerve? Beyond me. So, accordion hands, no policy, no plan. Said he had concepts. But he really doesn't have any concepts. The only concepts he has is waiting for somebody to bring something to him to make him look good. That's the concept. Simple as that. So we're going to go to the main screen. The main screen. And I'm just trying to make a point, so I just tried to pick something that makes a good point. That hopefully resonates with somebody. You know, come on, you got to wake up sooner or later. This wokeism thing is somebody's put it in wokeism into a box, created a label on it, and created fear around it. But guess what? You got to wake up. This guy needs to be, Trump, you're fired. You're already a failure. You haven't even started, and you're committing treason against the people. Colluding with Russian dictators, colluding with Orban that has proven autocratic frameworks in place in Hungary. You invite him down a few times. Oh, Christ. Cripes. And I said Christ, but the thing is you even get hung up on Christ because of, you know, all this friggin' biblical stuff. Like, let all this religion go. This religion's just a pox on society. Doesn't matter what religion it is. Let it all go. But here we are. This gentleman, make U.S. imperialism great again now. Plus, you got all these oligarchs fighting for control. And here's the funniest thing. Now they start infighting. And why are they infighting? Because they never had a plan. They had no policy. They never had a plan. And that's why, you know, they stopped government funding government. You know, what the hell? No plan? What the hey? No plan? They never had a plan. Just trying to keep everybody happy and and they're trying to run a country. Can't even run a friggin' business. And they're trying to run a country. So anyways, the byline is here. Trump threatens to colonize Panama, Canada, Greenland, Mexico. Beautiful. This guy that says, don't vote for that Miss Harris. She's a warmonger. And this guy's already talking about invading Panama. Like, does he understand that the Panama Canal was just a 100-year lease? And the 100-year lease expired in early 2000s, maybe 2003? Does Trump not realize that? No, he doesn't realize that. He doesn't realize anything. It's beyond his scope of understanding. His family have not, instead of letting him try to be president, they should have tried to help him, to have a nice retirement in Mar-a-Lago and ride off into the sunset as the 45th president. But now he's got to taint it with this tenor as the 47th president, and he's starting off in a terrible manner. Absolutely terrible. Trying to brutalize people. Does this guy not understand? You can either have a loving, peaceful, happy way of doing things, or just create pain and suffering. Like, you got the choice. And if you want the leadership, like, the leadership can do one or the other. There's no need for pain and suffering. But you, I don't know. You seem to like pain and suffering for some reason. Makes no sense to me.
There's a popular narrative claiming that Donald Trump is supposedly an isolationist who's against war and intervention. In order to believe this, you have to ignore his extremely hawkish foreign policy during Trump's first term, when he killed the top Iranian general Qasem Soleimani and tried to overthrow the Iranian government. He also killed a top Iraqi military commander and occupied Iraq, refusing to withdraw U.S. troops from Iraq. He expanded the war on Yemen, brutally bombing Yemen. He expanded the war in Afghanistan. He boasted of selling offensive weapon systems to Ukraine.
Excuse me, I didn't. I'm the one that gave Ukraine offensive weapons and tank killers. Obama didn't. You know what he sent? He sent pillows and blankets.
He backed a coup attempt in Venezuela and waged economic war against Venezuela.
Venezuela. How about we're buying oil from Venezuela? When I left, Venezuela was ready to collapse. We would have taken it over. We would have gotten all that oil. It would have.
There you go, right there. Would have taken over Venezuela. Like, this guy wants to be one of those, he wants to be a Putin. He wants to be a Xi Jinping. He wants to be he wants to be a friggin' autocrat. He wants to be like, who's that famous guy? The most famous, probably Genghis Khan. He wants to be Genghis Khan. What a brutal life, eh? What a brutal life that must have been.
A bit right next door.
He backed a violent coup in Bolivia that overthrew Bolivia's elected government. He waged a trade war against China, and he even boasted of leaving U.S. troops in Syria to take its oil.
And then they say he left troops in Syria. You know what I did? I left troops to take the oil. I took the oil. The only troops I have are taking the oil.
So that was Donald Trump during his first term as U.S. president. Well, now he's coming back to the White House in January 2025. And what is he pledging to do in his second term? Again, very interventionist, hawkish policies. It's the opposite of isolationism. Donald Trump is threatening multiple countries, including he wants to colonize Panama and take over the Panama Canal in a blatant violation of the sovereignty of the Central American nation. Donald Trump also wants to expand the U.S. empire and take over Greenland, which is an autonomous territory. It was a colony of Denmark, and it has a large indigenous population. They do not want to be a colony of anyone. They want their own sovereignty. Trump and his nominees are discussing plans to invade Mexico, the U.S. southern neighbor, another blatant violation of sovereignty. And Trump is even talking about potentially annexing Canada and making it the 51st U.S. state. Now, Trump supporters claim...
Was this ever in his election promises? I'll be a dictator for a day. When are you going to wake up? When are you going to stop covering for this guy? When are you going to stop saying, oh, he's just joking? When are you going to stop covering for this guy? He's only a couple of years younger than Biden. And you got young voters saying, well, you couldn't elect a dinosaur, but you elect a guy that's just full of vitriol for everything and anything that exists. Should have been put out to pasture. New people. You can't elect new people? Come on now.
Claim this is a joke, it's not serious, but he's threatening the northern and southern neighbors of the U.S. He's threatening China. He's threatening Iran. This is the opposite of isolationism. This is extreme imperialism.
So now you've got the extreme imperialism and extreme isolation. You've got them both. He wants to build walls. Well, they're the real walls between the borders and virtual walls with tariffs. That's what a tariff does, kids. So here you have December 26, 2024. Merry Christmas to all. Merry Christmas to all. This is all he's doing on Christmas. I don't know, Joe Biden, a real president. Sleepy Joe. I love Sleepy Joe. He did a great job, probably the best job the American electorate ever had. Probably the best job, best American president. And you kick him out. No dignity. No thanks for what you did, Joe. I'll do it for you. Sleepy Joe, we love you. You did a wonderful job. Bless you. So there you go. I love Sleepy Joe. He's a good guy. Enough of this hate, enough of this rhetoric. The thing I didn't like about Joe Biden, the fact that he left some of these tariffs in place from the previous Trump administration, trying to satisfy the people of America that want protectionism. And he kept it at bay and tried to find a good balance. And nobody realized that. You just don't realize it. You want to start invading and taking lands and invading people and creating this disharmony, you're going to get disharmony in return. It's not going to be nice. Eventually, you just may end up with bombs just being, can you imagine that? 2028, all of a sudden, this is just a hypothetical, a friggin' missile from China lands on the shores of the United States of America. Do you think that cannot be a possibility? You betcha it can. Excuse me. Now look at this. Senators voting against Social Security increase. Even Mitt Romney's there, Rand Paul, Mitch McConnell, John Thune, Ron Johnson, Chuck Grassley, Jody Ernst, and Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, God. And then you got a Ted Bundy. Oh, no, it's Ted Budd. Republican judge took away overtime pay for 4 million Texicans. Texicans? What's a Texican? Texans. So, Biden makes sure that 4 million people in the state of Texas, They have overtime pay. And what happens? A Republican judge overturns that and strips the ability away for 4 million people to have overtime pay. There's something really wrong with this, folks. I don't understand how you find this acceptable. And then here, December 25th, Christmas Day. Donald Trump, Merry Christmas to all, including the wonderful soldiers of China who are lovingly but illegally operating the Panama Canal. Panama Canal is its own entity. You made a deal, you built it, you had a contract on a 100-year lease, which was all fulfilled, and you still have to this day rights of passage ahead of other marine fare to travel through the Panama Canal for the American military service, and you just keep abusing these privileges. You just keep breaking promises. You just keep lying to people. You just keep doing this nonsense. Is that how you build a good relationship with anybody? Just break contracts because you don't like them anymore? Just lie to people because you don't like things anymore? Meanwhile, all you had to do, put a little thought and reason into things, and you can actually make the relationship better. But that's beyond your capacity. You're just into seal clubbing, hurting people. Canada, Mexico, come on now, and then Greenland. Just never ends. And then page 2. Instead of saying Merry Christmas to all, Merry Christmas to the radical left lunatics, there is no left, there is no right, there is no center. You just have various different contrasts of this, that, or this. Simple as that. And just work within that. So now, they're political opponents. Always the opponent. Always the opponent. And then Biden gives a bunch of pardons to people. And this guy says violent criminals who killed, raped, and plundered like virtually no one before. Come on. Come on, Trump. What's the matter with you? Can you not say something nice? Can you not do something that is steeped in empathy, benevolence, and compassion? And then all you got to say is, we had the greatest election in the history of our country. Like, here you just continue lie. Lie, 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 lie. You only got 22% of the popular vote. Of the full population of America, you only got 22% of the vote. That's not a mandate to do whatever you want, to go invading other countries. You seem to think you can do whatever you want. You're supposed to be a leader of the country. Not acting like a leader, buddy. You didn't last time, you're not this time. Actually, you're getting off on the wrong foot. As a matter of fact, you need mental health. You've got mental health issues, buddy. You need help. This is no way to treat people. Something wrong with you. Something wrong with the people that believe in this stuff. So now we've got day one promises. Day one to be a dictator. We're already seeing that before day one. Settle the Russia-Ukraine war. Well, you know what's going to happen there. Trump has actually been a puppet of Putin's, decades. Like, this is another thing with Panama. Maybe they can just wipe out all the records that are there over the last 3 decades of laundering money. Trump's good friend Martinelli that ran Panama, while they were laundering money for Putin, started off with Yeltsin, and then morphed into Putin because, Yeltsin wanted to do like Trump should have done, right off into the sunset. Thing about Yeltsin, he liked his vodka a bit too much. So, you know, the Russia-Ukraine war is going to end up bad for the Ukrainian people because Russia has imperialistic tendencies. We've seen that going back to the early 2000s. Crimean War, Donetsk region. He's put puppets in place in Georgia, Moldova, various other, Ukraine for a long time. This is how Paul Manafort, the campaign manager of Trump's first friggin' run for president, Paul Manafort, was working with Russia to put a Russian puppet, and they had a Russian puppet as running the country. This is why Obama could not send sensitive military equipment, because as soon as he did, the corruption in Ukraine, technology would go to Russia. Well, Trump fixed that because, he, after his first term, he lost, woe be me. He took all these secrets, country secrets, and just phoned up, was on the phone to Putin constantly. Vlad, what do I do next? What do I do next? You're a propaganda machine. I got to get back in. What's going on? Don't worry, Donald. I'll take care of it. And Putin did take care of it. Now they're back playing their games because they want to control the world. Simple as that. You just don't get it, folks. You just don't get it. And now, watch, Trump reverse Biden's dumpster fire economy. The economy's never been better. The only dumpster fire that's coming is from Trump, and then who's he going to blame? He'll just blame Biden, saying Biden set him up for it. That's all. Simple thing. And then Mark Carney used to be the Bank of Canada governor and did it also for the United Kingdom. And yesterday, December 26th, this is carrying the joke too far. The casual disrespect, the poor tax math, and ignoring that workers on both sides of our border will be better off if we work together. Time to call it out, stand up for Canada, build a true North American partnership. And he's right. You can keep covering for this guy and say he's just joking. He's not joking. He's a disgrace. He's a disgrace to the American people he's supposed to be representing. He's a disgrace to the world because of this far ideology that of Darwinian ideology of survival of the fittest. Instead of lifting everybody up so that everybody can have a happy life, he just wants to create pain and suffering. No plan. Not even a concept. That's why they're fighting about what are they going to do. The one thing they do have is they have a playbook, 2020-25, Project 2025. The headliner of putting that together is number one in the Trump's administration. All these guys, like Kash Patel. You had Kellyanne Conway, Kash Patel, towards the end of the last tenor, put into the Pentagon to make sure that they took care of the exodus out of Afghanistan was permanently jeopardized in such a way that you could not get out of Afghanistan in a manner that you needed to with some dignity and respect. You lost all that because Trump wanted to undermine that. And that's been his MO from day one. Simple as that. So, before I go any further, I'm just going to go back. I'm just cutting it short right here. So have a happy new year, folks. Trump, you are fired. I'm going to send, and come on. Trump family, help this man. He needs help. Do not encourage this kind of behavior. He really needs help. He should resign before he even gets started because it's a disgrace. Sending love and peace to everyone. Stay safe. Be good. And we'll talk to you again soon. And as I said, Trump, you're fired. Adios, amigos. Arrivederci. Au revoir.